Number one choice to save money on back-to-school shopping? Find low prices on school supplies, top tech, cool clothing, and more, so you can stock up and restock as necessary. Back to school, back to Walmart.
Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. Y'all know I am Team Google Slides. I think it's a fantastic tool for teachers because it's free to use, easy to learn, and can be used in so many different ways. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 10 of my best Google Slides hacks for teachers to help you take your slides to the next level. We're going to jump right into it with hack number 1, add timers to your slides.
Now, can you hear me?
And I know what you may be thinking,
All right, I
Michelle,
apologize for that.
how the heck do I add a
we are
timer?
at
Do we know how? I don't know how.
Well, you can add timers as video files to your slides. So here's an example of what that would look like. This is great for independent practice, or if you're doing rotations with your students. It just helps you, not lose track of time, which is easy to do in the classroom. So I could create this slide where I detail out the assignment I want my students to work on. I tell them what to do if they finish early, and then I have a timer. So this one would be for 30 minutes. When I actually present the slide, that video timer is going to automatically start counting down, starting at 30 minutes. So let me show you how to do this. First of all, if you are interested in these slide templates that you see me using, I do have them available for purchase in my TPT store, which I will link for you down below. They do include the timers. They have 1 minute, 2 minute, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30-minute timers already included, and you get the video files of the timers as well, so technically you could insert them wherever you would like. But in order to insert a timer, you're just going to come up to Insert, Video.
So what are some
From here, if you already have timer files, such as the ones included in my slide templates, you could just insert them from your Google Drive. But if you don't have any, you can actually search for them on YouTube. So for example, I could type in 5-minute timer, and then select one that I like. They have a lot of different fun backgrounds. Mine are just plain black and white because y'all know me, I love my black and white, but they get super fancy as well. So once you find one you want, just select it, click the blue select button, and it's going to insert it in as a video. Of course, from here you can resize it as needed, so you can make it maybe a little bit smaller. You can drag it around wherever you want on your slide. But I do want to bring your attention to the format options. Over on the side, you have video playback. It's already opened up. From here, you can choose to play on click. That means if I go into my slideshow and I start playing it, the video file is not going to start counting down like the one you see down in the corner right now. Instead, you can choose when you want to start it by clicking the play button on the video. This might be helpful if you want to review directions before having the timer actually start. But I'm going to escape from present mode and reselect that video. If you do want it to automatically count down, just to make it a little bit easier, select the drop down and choose play automatically. That will cause it to automatically start playing down. You also can adjust the time that the video starts or ends. You also can choose to mute audio. So personally, my timers have the last 10 seconds, they turn red to kind of alert you that it's going to go off soon. And then when the timer ends, there is a little bell sound. If you don't want that sound, you can choose to mute the audio. Let's move on to hack number 2, which is to add music to your slides. There's actually 2 different ways you can do this. You can insert just an MP3 file. In order to do that, you would come to Insert, choose Audio. From here, you can search within your drive for audio files, but I don't know about you, I don't have a lot of music files, hanging around, so again, since my LimeWire days when I was a teenager, but another way to add music to your slides is through videos as well. So let me show you how to do that. Just like before, we're going to come to Insert and choose Video. My favorite way to add music is just by adding YouTube videos. So I might search for classical music.
I only thought of 4 or 5 words as alternates.
I'm going to find one that I like. A lot of these are really, really long, so it's great to have on as just background music while students are working.
Wait a second. Are you listening to music?
Classical music for autumn. That sounds wonderful. I'm going to select it. Once again, click the blue select button, and it's going to insert it as a video. Now, some of these have nice little backgrounds of fall leaves or fires or aquariums, and if you want your students to look at that, great. But if you want to bring their attention to the directions or the timer video you already have on the slide, because yes, you can insert multiple videos on the same slide. I want the music to play, but my students to not even know that there's a video there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this down basically as small as I can get it to go. That looks pretty good. Then I'm going to zoom in so it's a little bit easier and I don't lose track of it. I'm going to drag it so it's all the way in the corner and kind of out of the way so my students won't even notice it. Now, a little hack for you. The video does need to be at least partially on the slide. Okay, here's what I mean by that. I could have just this little tiny sliver maybe down in the corner that is still technically on the slide. If the entire video is off the slide, it's not going to play. But as long as a little sliver of it is somewhere on your slide, it's going to play for you. So I have it right now just in the bottom where barely any of it is on the slide, so you wouldn't even notice it. Then I can have it play automatically. When I start the slideshow, it's going to start playing the video, which in turn is going to start playing the music. I'm going to make sure my sound is up on my computer. The audio may not sound great for you because I'm recording this, through my computer and also through my microphone. But let's just see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and start the slideshow.
7 days a week.
You'll notice that timer video starts playing down just like normal. And then we should have some classical music that starts piping in.
14 different Indigenous languages all across Ontario. That is one.
It may not be very loud for you, but it is there. It is playing, and that is a great way to add a little bit of either background music while students are playing or kind of sound effects that maybe match what you're doing. If your students are going to write a short, spooky story around Halloween time, you can have some spooky music or spooky sound effects playing in the background. So it makes it just that much more engaging for students, and it's super easy for you to do as the teacher. Hack number 3 is to create a table of contents. I have shown this before on my channel because I'm a huge fan of having clickable links within my slides that save me time. I don't have to scroll through hundreds of slides. Instead, I can just click in order to go to the exact slide I want. So I'm going to show you a few different ways you could use this hack. First, let's say at the beginning of the week, you go over like a weekly schedule, almost like an agenda page for your students so they know what to expect. From this slide, maybe I want each day of the week to link to the slides I'm going to use for that day. So I could link these Monday slides to my Monday morning work slide that I'm going to have up when students come in the room. So let's say this was the first slide of my slideshow. Whenever I open up Google Slides, it's going to come to this slide. I might not want to scroll all the way to Friday. So instead, I can link the slides. So I'm going to just highlight the text that says Monday. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose link. From here, I can link to websites and other documents. We're going to come back to that. I'll show you how to do that as well. But I can also link to slides in this presentation. I do have the option to link to the next slide or previous slide, but also specific slides. Keep in mind, if I were to choose next slide and then I were to add another slide after this one, it's going to link to that new slide rather than the original one I linked to. So personally, I rarely choose next slide or previous slide. I like to choose the actual slide number because even if, so right now, this is slide 3, so I link to slide 3. If I were to add in another slide, so if I were to just add a blank slide right here, this is still linking now to slide 4, so it updates as the numbers update, so just keep that in mind. But I personally don't like how it changed my text color to this weird turquoise teal color and it underlined it. Not a fan of that. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to click the underline button so the underline disappears, and I'm going to change the teal to a nice white color, just like I had it before, but it is still linked. So now if I present my slideshows, let's say I'm going over my weekly schedule with students, I can then click in order to go to Monday and it will link directly to that slide. Another way I love to use this was creating Google Slides for an entire unit. So let's say I'm doing a multiplication unit in math and it's going to comprise of 8 different lessons. I want them all to be in the same slideshow, but I want to easily be able to get to the exact lesson I need that day. So I would always create a table of content slide where I would list out lessons 1 through 8, and I would link each one to the corresponding first slide for that lesson.
Brochures
So
tell
let's
enough
say
about an
lesson 1 is going to
organization
start
or
with my
place
objective
to
and the
get your interest and make
vocabulary.
you wanna know more.
I'm going to come back to
So,
my table
your
of
job,
contents. Once
create a
again, I'm just
brochure
going to click
about a
and drag
chosen
in order
issue
to
from
highlight the
Game Comes
text
Home
that says
that
lesson 1.
informs,
Right
educates,
click,
and or
link,
persuades.
and okay, I'm going to go into full
to be
screen
an
mode. This
in-depth
happens
study of the
sometimes. This
topic,
is a smaller
but
screen
it should give
on my
enough
Mac,
information to
but
grab
that way I
and
can
keep
see the full
reader's
thing.
interest from
Slides
start
in
to
this
finish.
presentation, and I want it to
A
link to
brochure may
slide
cover a broad
5.
topic,
Once again, I
but
can
it
change
should
the
not
text color by
contain so much
highlighting it,
information that it overwhelms
unclick the
them.
underline, and I can
Choose
make it
2 or
black
3 key
again.
points
But it
about
is
the
still
theme
linked,
or
even though it
issue
may
you have
not look
chosen
like
to
it.
describe.
When I go to
If there
present
are
my
other important
slideshow, I can
elements,
then click where
consider
it says
listing
lesson
them in a
1, and it
simple
will
bullet
take me
list
directly
or a
there.
chart somewhere in your
Now,
brochure.
I mentioned that you can also
In
link
addition
to
to what your brochure
websites
says,
or other
you
files
must
within
decide
your
on the
Google
best
Drive.
format to
So let's
present your
say on
information.
the actual
Different
lesson 1
formats or
slide,
layouts
I
work
have this
best for
spot about
brochures, with
vocabulary,
a lot of
and we're going to
text or a lot of
discuss
pictures,
the area
small
model.
blocks of
Maybe I
text,
have a
lists,
set of
charts,
notes.
maps.
So
You need to find
over
the
here, I'm going to
format
come
that
to this
works
Google
best
Drive
for your
folder. I have
information.
this set of area model notes.
Okay.
I want to
You
be able
can
to
create
click the
your brochure
words
freehand.
area
If you're a good
model
artist,
and have
you
it
can feel
linked
free to just draw
to
this.
this image
You can
of
go to the
notes about
templates
the area
section
model so I
of
could
Microsoft
open it up
Word
and review it with
and choose a
students.
brochure from there.
So what I'm going to do
There
in my
is
Google
a free
Drive, I'm going to
program
right
called
click on
Canva
this
at
file and I'm going to choose Get Link.
HTTPS
It's going to open up a little dialog
colon
box and I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to click done because I no longer need that. I'm going to come back to my Google Slides. Once again, I'm going to highlight the text, right click, choose
Remember that you
link,
have those as
and
part
I'm
of
going
your
to
WASA student
paste
account
the
on your
link right up
Gmail
here at the
with us.
top, click paste, and choose apply.
Okay. Possible topics.
Now, just to save time, I'm
Any
not going to
topic
change the
covered
text
or
color,
touched
but
on
just
in
to
our
show you
novel,
what this would look
Jimmy
like,
Comes
if
Home
I am
is acceptable
presenting,
to use.
I've introduced the
Some
objective to my
possible topics
students,
might be
we want to
staying in
review the
school
area model,
or
I can click
dropping out of
it,
school
it's going to
or
open up another tab,
teenage
and it's going to
parenthood,
have that
dangers of
image
drugs,
already
dangers
opened
of
up so that I could
alcohol,
review it with students. But this
transitioning back
also
to
works for
community,
PDF files,
any
other
other topic
Google
that you think
Docs,
is relevant to
things
the
like
novel
that. So real
is
quick,
fair
let me
game.
show you what it would look like with another set of Google Slides. Another
The
way I
following
would use
steps
this
are
is linking
suggested.
to a
First,
set of
write down your
slides that I'm
topic in
going
the
to
space
teach from
provided
that are
below.
maybe separate
And
from
then
my
write what you currently
daily
know off the
slides.
top of your
So
head
maybe I have
about
this
your
welcome
topic in
slide
the
that
K
I just
section of the
update the
chart.
same slide
In
every
sections,
single day
right?
with the objective for the day, the warm-up
Right here.
reminders, and so
This stands
on.
for no.
I want to be able to link this to another set of Google Slides where I'm
come
going to
up with
actually
3
teach from.
or
So maybe
4 things
here
that
I'm
you
going to
want
select the
to
word
know
agenda.
and
I'm
write
going
them
to
under the
choose
W
link.
section.
And
W
I'm going to
stands
come
for
over to
want
the
to.
other Google Slides that I want to link
Questions,
to.
things you
I'm going
wish
to
you
choose
knew more
share.
about, okay?
I'm going to copy
Look
the
at some
link.
sample brochures.
Go ahead and hit done.
You may have to
Come
do
back
this
to
on
the
the
original
internet.
Google
That's
Slides,
fine.
right click,
Identify
paste,
those that
just
have a
like
style
before,
or a
click
format that
apply,
you'd like to
and now
imitate or
that is
borrow.
linking to another
See how
set of
much
Google
detail
Slides.
each type
So
of
when I click on it, it will
brochure
open up
includes.
that set of Google Slides.
Research your
Hack
topic.
number 4 is to add
Use the
an
materials
outline
provided to gather more
text.
details about your
So
topic.
this is one of my
From
biggest
these
gripes
materials
with
and
Google
what you
Slides
already know
until
about
I
the
figured out
topic.
how to do this.
Start picking
In
out
PowerPoint, you can
5 to
have a
6
fill color for the
significant or
text, but
interesting
also a
facts that you
separate
think
outline color.
you will want to
And
highlight
I
in
didn't
your
think you could
brochure.
do it in Google
Write
Slides
these
until
out
I
in your own
discovered
words. You don't want to
word
copy
art.
word for word
Now, I
things
have
from
shared
the
about this
internet,
previously
okay?
as well, so it
A,
might
it's
be a
gonna
review for
sound,
you, but just in case you didn't
like
know,
how business is
I
right
can
and
add
copyright
word art
normally.
in Google
It
Slides,
sounds a
just
little
like
bit
you could do in
different, okay? So
PowerPoint by
it will be
coming up
noticeable,
to
but
insert
also
and
it's
then
plagiarizing.
selecting
You need to
word
make sure
art.
that, you know,
From here,
anything
I'm
you
going to
write
type in
is
the
your
text that I
actual
want
word,
to
not
be
somebody
word
else's,
art.
okay?
So let's just use the word science. Whenever
So
you are
here an
done, go
example,
ahead
my
and hit
topic
enter.
was
If you want
recovering
multiple
from
lines of
alcoholism.
text, hold down
And
shift
here in the
and
K, I
then
wrote
press enter,
what
and
I
you can
think I
keep
know.
typing.
It's
But I'm
easier
going to
with
hit
support.
enter to insert
Some
that word
communities have
art.
support
Now, here
groups.
is hack
There are
number
some addictions
5. We're kind of
programs
jumping
that you
ahead, and then
look
we're
at
going to
that
come
can
back
help.
to hack number 4. Hack number
Dealing with
5
what
is
sort
to
of you
hold
drinking can
down
help.
shift when
And sometimes you
resizing.
need to make
That
some
is
new
going to
friends
keep the
who don't
original
drink. Maybe you
ratio
know
of the
other things
size
that you would add there
intact.
if this was you.
Here's what I mean by that. If I just start clicking and dragging, notice I can make it like really skinny like that, or I can make it really tall like that. If I want to preserve that original ratio and keep the proportions the same, if I hold down Shift on my keyboard as I click and drag, notice it's keeping the same proportion. So if you don't want the text to get stretched out, hold down Shift as you are clicking and dragging to resize. But you can also do that within the format options. So if you click format options, come over to size and rotation, make sure you check the box next to lock aspect ratio. And then if you resize it, so maybe I want it to be 10 inches wide, it's going to automatically update the height to be the same ratio as before. But coming back to hack number 4 about adding the outline. First of all, let's change the font. I'm not a huge Arial fan. Let's go Poppins,
Okay, doing
extra
internet
bold, nice
research.
and chunky.
It
That
is
looks
really
great.
important for something
From
like this
here,
where
I
you're
can change the
providing,
fill color of the
important
text using
information
the
to
paint
people.
bucket. So maybe I'm going
You
to
want to
do
make sure this
a
information is
green
true.
fill. And then I can
the best
change
way to
the
do that
outline
is to
color
make
right
sure
next
that it's
to
coming
it,
from
the
a
border
reliable
color. Maybe I want a
source.
nice
Not
black
everything on
border.
the
And I can change the
internet is
thickness
reliable.
as well. So
Right,
I
so
can click
examples
this button
of
with the different
reliable
lines,
sources
and
might
I
be
could choose
hospital
maybe 4
websites like
points.
the Mayo
And I can
Clinic,
even change the style of the
doctor
outline. So
or
I could make
health
it be like a
websites.
dotted
Sometimes,
line.
unless the
So this
doctor's
is great
selling
if you're going to
something, right?
create
But a doctor
like
who's
tracing
saying,
activities
telling
for your
you all
students, or
about,
you want to show
liver
them where to
cancer.
cut for things. You
Probably
could
pretty
use that
reliable, right?
option there.
Government
So that was
websites
hack
about
4 and
programs
5
they
kind
offer.
of all in
Health
one.
Canada
But
may
keep
be
in
putting
mind,
things out.
holding down
The
shift
Ministry
not
of
only
Health
works for
Ontario
word art
might have
resizing, but also
information
image
about,
resizing as well.
you know,
Hack number
treatment for
6 is to
different
create
items.
a forced
Newspaper
copy
articles.
link. If you have ever
The
purchased
tribal
any of
council
my
might put
products
an
that
article
include
about
Google
certain
Slides,
activities or
you may
programs.
have seen this one before.
Reliable
When you would
magazine
click the
articles
link, it would
from,
prompt you to make a copy to
things like
save to your Google
Maclean's,
Drive.
Time,
I'm
The
going to show
Atlantic,
you
Canadian
how to
Living.
do that.
Obviously, you
So
wouldn't
if
use,
I
like,
want to create a forced
questionable
copy
things
link,
like,
I'm first going to come up
you know,
to
the
the
National
share
Enquirer
button,
or
but I can do
something,
this
right?
from within Google Drive as
Sometimes
well.
social workers might have
Then
articles
under
about
general
some of these
access,
topics.
I want to make sure it
For
says
example, like
anyone
parenting
with the
events.
link can
Some
view.
nonprofit
Do
groups
not
might
change
have
it to editor.
reliable
Leave it
information.
as view
So maybe,
because
like,
you
say, the
don't want them to
Friendship
be able
Center or
to edit
something
the
might offer
original if
some
they were to go
information.
in and manipulate the link. So I'm going to
You'd be
leave this as is,
conscious
and I'm going to
that,
go ahead and
say,
copy
if
that link.
Salvation Army, for
If
example,
I just paste the
offers
link as
something, it may be
normal
kind of
in
slanted towards
my
their particular
new tab,
beliefs,
and I
or
go
some of
to
it's
it,
just
it's
slanted
just
towards what
opening up the
services
Google
they
Slides,
offer,
and they would just
right?
have view access.
Wikipedia
In order
is
to
tricky. It's
prompt
one of the
them
ones people want to
to
go
create
first,
their
and I
own
get it.
copy,
It's got
you're
so
actually
much
going
information.
to
The problem
paste
with
the link,
Wikipedia is
but you're going to come to the
anybody
end
can
and
edit
you're
it.
going to
So
highlight
it's not
all
always
the way
considered
through
a
the word
reliable
edit.
source.
So you want to highlight
However,
everything
at
that
the
is
bottom of
past
any
that
article,
last
we usually have
slash.
links
So it should be
to
edit
external
question mark
groups or
USP
articles
equals
that
sharing. You want to
are
highlight all of that
reliable.
and you
So
want
you
to
can
delete it,
follow
backspace
those
it.
and see what
Then
they
you want to
used to write
type
the
the word
articles on.
copy. There we go.
So be
Now
cautious
with
if you're
this
using
new
Wikipedia,
link,
okay?
I'm going to highlight the whole
Personal
link.
anecdotes
If I
are
enter it,
not
it's going to
considered a
prompt
reliable
someone to
source.
make a
So
copy
somebody
in their
just
own
writing a
Google Drive
blog,
without being able to
somebody
manipulate
just
your
putting a little
original.
comment on a
So
forum
once again,
message,
just to show you one more time, you take that
somebody
original
sending,
link, you
Facebook
come
messages.
to a new
Those aren't
tab,
necessarily
you're going to
considered
paste the
very
link,
reliable.
but
You
you're
wanna
going
make
to
sure that
backspace
if you're reporting
until
this, that
you get
it's
to that slash,
factual
type the
information
word
that can
copy,
be verified.
and then that will prompt them to make their own copy. So this is
All
great
right.
if you want to be
So
able to
things to
share
think about as you do
resources
your
maybe with
research. Remember,
colleagues
this
or
is
friends,
Brochure. It's not
but you want them to have their own
Brochure.
copy without being able to manipulate
Who
yours.
is the brochure
Discover
written by?
ZLX
I
from
mean, I know
Siemens.
technically it's you as the
Accelerate
student, but
manufacturing offers
in
for your machine shop.
your point of
Boost
view
efficiency
of the
from
writer, are
RFQ
you
to part
are
delivery
you a
with quicker
doctor, a
calculations
nurse, a
and
social worker,
CNC
somebody trying
machine
to help
utilization.
clients? Do you work
Access
at a
your
hospital and you're
ZLX
trying to
free
let
trial
people know
now.
about programs they offer?
Hack number 7 is to crop an image to a shape. So when you insert an image, of course you can crop it, like if it's a square, you can crop off the sides or the top
Is
or
it
the
someone who has
bottom,
dealt with the
but you
problem
also
themselves,
can
trying to
take
give you
that
helpful
square
advice?
image or rectangular image and crop it to
Is it a
another
wellness
shape.
center?
So let me show you how
Or
to
an
do
addiction
that.
program
You want to
trying to
start by
encourage you to seek
inserting an
help?
image. I'm going to use an image
Maybe you're
that
writing it as a
is
school
from my
guidance
computer,
primary
and we'll
students?
just use this picture of me because that's what I have on my computer. Notice it is a square image. With the image selected, I'm going
Maybe
to
you
come
work
up
at
to
the
the
nurse's
crop
station.
button and I'm going to click the
And
little
you're trying to,
arrow next to
put out
it.
information.
From here, I can select
Maybe you're one of the mental
any of the
health
shapes
workers.
that are available within
In
Google
your, it
Slides.
doesn't
So
have
if
to
I
be
want to
true,
crop it
but
to a circle
who are you
shape,
writing it
I
from
can
the
select
point
the
of view of?
circle and it will automatically make it a circle. But I can do that with any of the shapes available, so I could make it this lightning bolt shape, whatever you want it to be. So here's another way you might
Who is your
think about
audience?
using this, because obviously it's
Are you
just a
writing
fun
to
way to
youth
kind
like
of add
Jenny?
interest to your slides.
To elders like
But
his
for a
grandmothers?
more academic application, I'm going to delete that
To
picture.
teachers who might be trying to help.
And this time I'm
What
going
is
to
your
insert
goal?
an image from Google.
Are you
So I'm
trying
going
to
to
give
choose
them
search the
information?
web. Let's say
Let them know
I'm
where to get
doing
help.
a lesson where I'm talking about
Or
needing to
give a list of
change
steps they can
solids to
follow to
liquids
help
by adding
themselves.
heat. And I want to have a visual representation of this. this, I could search heat. Maybe I insert this picture of the fire. I'm gonna choose insert.
I'm gonna switch to a
and I want it to be an arrow because I want to show how the solid changes to a liquid with the application of heat. So I'm going to choose the little arrow next to the prop button, and I'm going to come down to arrows, and maybe I choose this right facing arrow. Now, as I show the solid changing into a liquid, I'm showing that it's through the application of heat. So that's just kind of a way that you could maybe use it within your instruction. Hack number 8 is to link to a specific slide through Google Keep.
That was Very confusing.
That probably sounds confusing, so let me explain.
And I'm going to kind of show you.
Whenever you have a Google Slides, it's full of tons of slides, and yes, you might have the table of contents, but let's say you have 50 slides for a lesson and you only got through 40 of them. And the next day you want to be able to pick up where you left off, and you're worried you might forget, or you don't want to have to scroll through to that specific slide. You can actually create a Google Keep note with your Google Slides open, and it will link to that specific slide. So let's say I want to link to this morning meeting slide. So the next day, all I have to do is click it and it will come to this slide, not just this presentation, but this specific slide. What I'm going to do is open up my sidebar. So that's the little arrow down at the bottom if it's not already showing. And I'm going to come to Google Keep. It's the little yellow icon with the light bulb. And it's going to open up my Google Keep notes. I want to take a new note. So I'm going to click take a note. Notice it doesn't even matter what I type here. It has automatically linked to that set of Google Slides. So I might just say tomorrow, because this is where I want to start tomorrow.
Telling you more.
I can click done. I now have my note. Wonderful. If I come to a new tab, and let's go to my Google Drive. So the next day I'm opening up my slides. I'm like, oh, I got to open up that morning meeting slide. I can come to Google Keep, and I can do this from the full screen Google Keep as well. And once it loads, all I have to do is go to that actual note that I created. So I'm going to go down past my pinned notes. I have a lot of pinned notes. Okay, here was that tomorrow note. I'm going to click it. Here are my slides. When I click it, not only does it open up that set of Google Slides, but it is going to go directly to slide 8, which is the slide that I linked it from. So it does take a second. It's kind of loading all the slides, boom, and then now it is on slide 8. So that is a great way to go to a specific slide or to help you remember which slide you left off on. So in order to do it, you do want to make sure you have that specific slide selected when you create the Google Keep note. Hack number 9 is to create custom substitutions. So this is like an autofill text. It's a great way to be able to save yourself time from retyping the same things over and over again. So I'm going to come to this slide. I know whenever I would create an objective, I would always start it with, today we will blah, blah, blah. Instead of typing that every single time, I can create a little substitution for it, a little shortcut, if you will. So I'm going to come up to Tools and then choose Preferences. From here, I'm going to come over to Substitutions. And I can create my own substitution. So I want to start with the abbreviation, or what I'm going to type in order to create that longer version of text. So maybe I'm going to type TWW for today we will. This is a short example, but you could do this with any length of text. I'm going to type in today we will. And now if I click OK, within this text box, if I type in TWW, click space, it automatically replaced it with the text today we will. So if you find yourself typing the same things over and over again, whether it's certain formulas for math or certain symbols that you use, you can create a substitution. That way you can easily insert it in and save yourself some time. And finally, hack number 9 is to make slides available offline. If you are worried about losing internet access and not being able to get to your slides for the day, don't worry, you can actually make them available offline. So in order to do this, you're going to come up to File, and you're just going to select Make Available Offline. Depending on how many slides you have, this may take from a couple seconds up to a couple of minutes. But you will notice up here at the top, I now have this little See Document Status. If I click, it tells me this document is ready for offline use. So even if I lose internet access, I can still use all of my slides. When the internet access comes back, it's going to make any updates. So if I made changes to my slides while it was offline, when the internet comes back, it will save those changes and they will then be available for future use. That is it. Those are my 10 best Google Slides hacks for teachers. If you have any other ones that I forgot, please leave a comment down below. Share your knowledge with us, because I know not only I, but all the other teachers watching this would love to know. If you are interested in grabbing those editable Google Slides templates, which, by the way, are 100% editable, so you can add, delete, change colors on every element. Nothing is locked down. They're completely editable, and they do include those timers as well. I will leave the
are
link for you
audience, like,
down in the description
the
box.
brochure is
If you did
addressed
enjoy this video,
to. It might
please give the
suggest
video a
warning signs
thumbs
to look
up,
out for.
hit the subscribe button and notification
These
bell so you
lists
don't
might be
miss any
bulleted or
future
numbered.
videos. As
If
always,
addressed to the
thank you
person
for
who has
watching.
the
I
problem,
love you so much.
it
Don't
might
forget to
also
put your
list what
positive
steps
pants
they
on.
can begin taking
And I
to
will
help
catch you
themselves
in the next
while
one.
they're waiting to hear back from the organization or program that they are trying. Text might also include the ways the organization or medical professional might help you. This could be about programs they offer or actions they can take.
you need? PC Optimum Points
It might
Days
also
is coming
include
back.
success
From
stories or
September
quotes
21st,
or pictures of people
you can
who've been in
earn
these
points on
programs and
things
found
like
that they helped
groceries,
them.
beauty,
It
gas,
might
and
also
more.
list numbers for you to call
Open the app
if
to
you're in a
see your
crisis or emergency situation.
Hello there, and
It's
welcome
really
back to my
common
channel.
for a
If
brochure
you
to
are
end
new
with, like, a
here,
call
my
to
name is
action, like
Michelle Emerson,
something
and
you
I
want the
love
reader to
helping
do. For
teachers
more
with all
information,
things
talk to.
technology,
To enroll
organization,
in our
and
program, call us
productivity.
at.
Today, I'm going to show
get
you how to
counseling,
use Google
make an
Slides
appointment
in
at.
order to
Want
create
help?
student
You can
name
get it
tags.
at.
Plus,
Had enough?
I'm going
You
to
can
show you
help
something
in.
you might not know how to do on Google Slides, which
This
is adding
the
an
brochure. I wonder if you
outline
just see this.
to a
I'm not
text
sure.
color.
It's a little bit fuzzy, but it should be nice and clear in your unit.
All right,
wanna
we're
try
going
and
to
make
keep
sure
this
that
short
you're
and
over
snappy.
here in
The
level
first step
4.
is to open up Google
This is
Slides. You can do this a
essentially
few different ways. Within
gonna be-
Google Drive, you can come up to New
Right.
and then choose Google Slides,
And this
or right in your
NA.
address bar, you can type
B is considered the
slides.new
standard,
and it will
right?
open up a brand
We're
new
getting
Google
B's,
Slides.
that's perfectly
All
great.
right,
That's
we're
what
going to
the
get rid of the
conference is being
themes because
for.
we don't need that.
Now, only
And we're
some
going
of
to
what we're talking about
resize
here
the
is
slide.
involving
I'm going to
our
come up to
writing.
File and
purpose
come
is
down
part of your
to
writing,
Page
how you
Setup.
organize
Then I'm
your
going to click the
information is
drop
part
down
of
where
it,
it says widescreen,
and
choose
language.
custom.
Those are the
The
parts that you
reason
kinda
we are
wanna think about
resizing this
first.
slide is because
But a
ultimately
brochure
we are going
does
to be
have
printing
visual
on
elements
paper,
like
which is
charts,
not
diagrams,
10 inches by
graphics,
5.63
illustrations, and
inches.
pictures.
I know
You also have to
paper. I
think
know
about
everything there is
design
to know
elements
about paper.
like color,
We are going to keep it
space,
landscape
line,
orientation.
form.
We're going to change it to 11 by 8.5
Also, the word
inches
form
and
isn't
choose
quite the right
apply.
word.
Now, it already
Shape,
has some
maybe
text
in that form
boxes
usually
inserted.
refers to
However,
sculptures
I
and
really
stuff.
like a clean slate,
So
so we're
we
just
are
going
gonna
to
talk
get
a
rid
little
of
bit about
those.
some
I'm
of the
going to click and
visual
drag with my
aspects
mouse in order
next.
to select them both and just click backspace or delete on my keyboard.
sample
Now,
brochures
name
you can
tags
see.
typically are a rectangular
Here's,
shape, so
like,
we're going to
the one
insert
side.
a
There's the
rectangle by
back,
coming
here's the
up
cover,
to the
here's
shape
kind of that
tool right
extra page,
here.
and
We're going to
there's the
select
inside.
shape
The inside is
and
kind of where the
choose a
meat,
rectangle.
where all the
Now,
really
I'm actually
important
just
stuff
going to
is.
click
Here's another one.
anywhere on the
Here's how it
slide.
looks all
It's going to put
folded
a
up.
little square on there.
Here's the back
That
of the
way, I can
page.
actually
Here's
resize
the
it
front.
using
You
the
can see this
format
is kind of where
options. So in
a
order
lot
to
of your
do
main
that, I'm going to
information is.
right click.
Here's another
I'm
example.
going to come down to format
folded up.
options. And then
There's
I have a
the
nice little
front
menu
cover,
bar
the back
under
cover,
size and rotation.
sort of
I
extra
want to do a
page,
width
and then on
of
the inside.
10
So
and a height
you're
of
just thinking of a
3.5
normal
inches. I feel like that's a pretty good
typewritten page,
size
and
for
it
a
gets
name
folded
tag.
into three.
So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that.
If you aren't
and I'm just
comfortable
going to
using computers,
recenter it using those
you
red
can just draw this. Like,
guidelines
if you're an amazing
on my
artist, by
screen.
all means,
We'll
go
move it
that.
around later.
I just think it
We'll
would be
come back to that.
okay? So
now, I
what
want
you're
this
gonna
to
have to be
have a
thinking about is,
transparent fill. So I could also
the
make
three
it white
sides.
since the
Here's your
background is
front,
white. Either way,
here's
we're
your
going to come
back,
up to the little
here's
fill
page
color,
5.
which is the paint bucket.
When you open it up,
And
there's page
let's go
2,
ahead and choose transparent.
page 3, and page 4.
Beautiful. Now we want to give it a
Okay,
nice
so
thick black
I was showing
outline.
you
So we're going to
Canva. I didn't
select
get a
the
chance to
outline tool. I'm going to choose black, and then next to it, we're going to choose the border weight. And we're going big. We're going 8 points. Nice and chunky. Okay, in hindsight, it's a little too chunky.
You're too fast. No one's gonna like you if you're too fast.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna change it to 4
let's say you're
points.
using
That's a little bit
Google
better.
Docs. I like
Now, if you have been
Google
following
Slides.
me for really
And
any
again,
length of
if
time,
you
you know I
have,
have a certain style when it
a
comes
Gmail
to
account, which
creating
you do, 'cause
things.
we have
I
one for
really
all the
like
students.
a colored
If you go up
rectangle
here,
right in the
click on it,
middle.
there
So
should
we're
be a little
gonna
waffle
duplicate
come
the
up,
rectangle we
and it'll
already
show you the
have. That
different
way,
programs. You
the
want the one
border
that
is
has
good
the
to
yellow
go.
Google
I'm just
Slides.
gonna right click
This is
on it,
always
and
what
I'm gonna
comes up.
choose
Just
copy,
kinda get rid of
and then
that
right click on the
instantly.
slide and choose
Take it off. You
paste.
just want the
Another
blank
option
page.
is you can use the keyboard shortcuts and Control D
Really
on a
important.
PC
First thing you
or
wanna do before
Command
you do
D on a
anything
Mac
else
will
is
duplicate
set
it,
up
so
the
it's
page.
a little bit faster.
Right now, it's set up as if
I'm
we're
going
gonna
to
be
right click
clicking,
and open back up those
it just
format
automatically opens
options
to that.
because
You wanna
instead
go
of
to page
3.5
setup.
inches, I want a
Not
nice
widescreen, not
half-inch
standard.
border at the
You
top
wanna
and
go down to
half-inch
custom
border at the bottom.
and
So we're going to
enter
make
the
it
normal
2.5
dimensions
inches.
of a page.
It's a little bit
11.
skinnier, and then we're going to use those red
5,
guidelines and just
8.5.
move it so that it's right smack
You
dab
wanna
in
do
the
this
middle of
first.
that other
For some reason, I
rectangle.
found it really
Now
hard
we
to
want to
change
change
once
the
you had
fill
things on
color.
it.
So we're going to click the
get
paint
that done
bucket
first.
again.
Okay, so now you've
But
got
I'm
what
going
looks
to
like
add
a
my
more
custom
normal
color. I'll
proportion.
be honest, not really
And
a
you
fan
really
of
wanna
any of
make
the
sure this
options it's
happens,
giving
because
me.
otherwise
So I'm going to click
some
the
of your
little
work's gonna
plus
get cut
sign
off
under
when you
custom,
do
and I'm going to
that.
type in a custom color code. Once again, if you've been following me, you know I like certain colors, so we're going to
You're gonna
use my
wanna go
standard
to
pink color, which
the
is
Insert
FF.
tab, down to table.
2F92.
And then
it's like a nice
select a single
strawberry
row,
color, if
but
you
with
will.
3 boxes.
Then we're going to click OK.
And that helps
And
you set
now
up
it's looking
the
like a
page.
pocket full of
So
primary
it's like
name
a
tag,
trifold.
if I do say
Pick
so
your
myself.
top line all
Here's
the way
where we
to the
get to
top
the
of
fun
page.
part. We're going to add in the
Bottom
name.
line,
Fantastic.
all
Now
the
tag it
bottom.
with your name.
But as I teased
your
at the beginning of
sides
this
over.
video, I'm going to show you how to add a text outline. Because if you add in a
this
normal
sets
text
up your
box, let me just
basic
show you, okay, in
trifold,
case you don't believe me. If
If
I
it
add
helps
in
you can even
text that
write
says
right on top
Michelle,
of it.
we're going to make it a nice Poppins font so it
what
pops.
it is so that you don't forget.
Okay,
so page
make it a little bit bigger, 120, that's
is your
better.
cover.
I can change the text color.
Over here,
But I cannot change the
is-
text
this is gonna be
outline,
page
and I just want it to
6.
pop a little bit more.
is your
Now,
back.
I can add a drop shadow. That's nice and all, but it's just not.
and over
it's
here
not the same.
is
So,
page
I put this
5.
on.
That's that one that gets folded.
It could be
out.
better.
Okay.
Here's what we're
We're
going
gonna
to
go
do
up to slide.
instead. We're going to come up to
duplicate the
Insert,
slide.
and we're going to choose
And then we're going to
Word
change
Art.
this. Now,
Anyone else having flashbacks to their
this
elementary
part
school
is
days using Word Art
page 2.
in Microsoft Word? Yeah. Word Art is actually now available within Google Slides.
Page
I mean, it's been
3.
available for a while, but it's been hidden. I feel like people didn't know about it.
Here we have
So I'm going to go ahead and type the name.
4.
If I want to have
And
multiple
now
lines,
you
I can just
have
hold down
your
Shift and then
basics
hit
set
Enter.
up.
It will allow me
So
to do
if
that.
you don't want
But
to use
whenever
Canva,
I'm
Canva
done
is really
typing my
pretty.
text, I'm just going to click
But
Enter.
if you don't want to use Canva,
And
it's
look
too
at that.
complicated,
Now, it's
just go
not the
here.
prettiest right now. We're going to make it better. We're
and
going to
you can
change the
think about
font.
what you want to do.
Instead of Arial, I love me
You're gonna
some
want on the
Poppins.
cover
We're
to
going to
have,
go
like, the
extra
business
bold,
name, maybe a
looking
photograph.
good. Now, do you notice, just like with the rectangle, we
colors
now have
here.
a fill color
So
and a border
let's
color.
say
Yeah. So we're going to make the fill color white. And we're going to give it that
photograph, okay?
black border,
So I
just
go
like
up
our
to
rectangle.
Insert,
I'm all about that
and I
cohesiveness.
grab an
And let's
image.
change
Okay.
the border to
On your
4
computer,
points as
you
well.
just
That
hit
way
upload
it matches.
and you upload
Now I'm going to
something.
warn
I'm
you.
on my
Here's
work computer, I
where
don't have
the word
anything.
art just gets
I
a
can
little
hit
bit
search
tricky,
button.
okay?
If
Unlike
you're
regular
taking
text
something from the
boxes
web,
where you
you wanna
set
make
a
sure it's
specific size
copyright
for the text.
free,
This
okay?
is more of a
It's really
shape.
important
So
because,
you can make
again,
it as
otherwise
stretched
you run into
or
plagiarizing.
chunky or up and
So I
down,
would just
side to
write
side,
up
as
here,
you want.
copyright free.
So I'm just gonna drag this up. Yeah, it's a little too tall. We're
and
gonna
I'm just gonna
shrink
get
it
a
down.
plant.
In fact, let's come over here. Let's
as an
make it
image of
pretty
health.
exact. I like 2
Okay.
inches as a height, like that. That sounds pretty good. And let's maybe go
I
6.
could really choose
Yeah,
anything.
that looks good. That doesn't look
I like the
overly like
pictures,
distorted.
I mean, rather
Once
than
again, I'm just
photos.
clicking and dragging using those red guidelines. That looks pretty good. Depending on the name, obviously
All right,
if it's a longer
just
name,
gonna
it might be more
this
scrunched.
right
If it's a shorter name, might be a little
Insert.
bit more loosey-goosey between the letters, but you can
I don't want
resize
it
them
across the
as
whole
needed.
thing. I'm gonna
So we have a
shrink
completed
it
name
down by
tag.
grabbing
Now,
the corner.
I can fit 2 on a page, so I actually
wanted
want
to
to
crop it,
copy
I
like
could hit it
all
down
of that
the bottom
together. I could
kind of
group
move
it, but
things
then when
in.
I go in and edit the
Grab these
name,
little
it's like a
darker
little bit
spots
more tricky.
and
So
make it
I'm just
smaller.
gonna click and drag with my mouse in order to select
Thinner.
all of it.
There you
But
go, all
keyboard
of a sudden.
shortcut,
Now,
Control
this could be
A
anywhere.
on a
Go up
PC
top,
or Command A
middle,
on a Mac
bottom,
will select everything
wherever
on
I
the
feel like
slide.
it's fine.
Now I'm gonna duplicate it.
how I
I'm
would
gonna use
grab
my
a
keyboard
photo.
shortcuts. So I'm
I wanna
using a
create a
Mac.
text to go
I'm
over
gonna
here
use
where it says
Command
text
D, but on a
box.
PC it would be Control D.
Create a little-
And I'm now just gonna drag it underneath so
on it
there's like a little
and
bit
create
of
a little
space.
text box,
Looking
write some
pretty
words.
good.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna
kind of
select
write
everything
literally
again.
anything.
I'm gonna use my keyboard shortcut. So Command A or
All right,
Control
we'll talk
A.
later.
And
You
I'm
can
gonna
change the
move it
color,
down
the
so it is now
size,
centered.
typography.
Look at that.
This is the back
we
cover.
have
This
2
is often
name
where you
tags,
have
and
your
we can go
contact
in, we can
information.
customize them.
It's kind of the
So
extra
maybe
page.
instead
I'm
of
not
pink,
always
maybe I
sure
want
what you're
this
gonna
one
do
to
with
be
that.
orange. We're gonna add in my color
you may
for
develop
orange,
ideas
which
as you go
is,
along.
yes, I'm looking at notes.
And here's kind of the native things.
FF9300. Click
so
OK.
Google
It's looking
Slides,
pretty
you
good.
also
Maybe this
can
one is
insert
going to be Billy. I'm just
shapes.
double clicking here on the name.
Right,
Gonna type
arrows,
in his.
callouts,
Okay, see how his
equations,
now it's shrunk down, so I could
tables,
stretch it
there's
out,
all sorts of
or I could
charts,
just drag it,
there's
you know, right in
diagrams.
the middle.
We're going to talk a little bit about
Like
each of these
so.
things, but there's all sorts
Beautiful.
of
So
cool
they're the
things that
same
you can
height.
do
One's just
to
a
make
little
your
bit longer
brochure
than the
look
other.
interesting.
We've got ourselves some name tags, but
now.
we're not going to stop there.
Okay.
I just want to give you some
so here's
ideas.
an example.
You know, some things
Here,
to ponder, some
I
ways
decided
to make
to
these a little
put,
bit
a
fancier.
whole
I
picture right
love
across,
when a good student name tag has
the
instructional
page.
elements.
Now,
you know, supports
wouldn't leave it like that.
resources
Like,
for them
let's
to
say I
reference,
had it
like,
like that,
a
so then I would
multiplication
maybe-
chart or
I
a
wanna put
cursive
some
alphabet.
text.
Fantastic. However, a
I would
lot of the ones ones you
like a
buy
little
in
text
stores
box.
or even ones that you see online. I think they're
I'd
a
probably
little
fill that in with
overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like there's just too much going on and your students are going to get distracted.
So it's
we're
there,
going
it's
to keep
kind of
this
underneath.
nice and
That's
simple.
one way to do
Let's
it.
say Billy,
The other
knowing
thing
him,
you can
needs a
do
multiplication
is
chart.
you
Okay,
can
I know that
grab
he needs that
this.
support. I'm going to insert in a little
There's a way
picture
to turn it
of a
translation
multiplication chart. So I'm
lucid.
going to come up here to the insert image button, and I'm going to upload from my computer. Now, I already have this beautiful little multiplication chart created. This is actually an image that I created myself, but I do have it available for you. I'm going to come back to that after I show you. So I'm just going to click open. It's going to pop it on. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're going to shrink it down
they
so that we
kind
can
of a
fit
wave
it right over here on the side.
And it kind of carries your eye across the information.
Beautiful. Okay. Make sure it's nice and centered. That looks good. That looks so good. I could even add an outline. So maybe I want it to be black. 4 points like the rest of it. Boom. Beautiful. And I could put another one on the other side, maybe an addition table or some fraction equivalency, whatever I want. But I also have some white space top and bottom.
And that your
I can add
handwriting
in
is
some
readable.
educational supports there as well. We're going to insert another image, upload. I've got this beautiful cursive alphabet with the vowels in red. It's lined. We're going to insert that in, and then I could put that right up here at the top. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We can make this.
It didn't work out properly here. I'm not sure why, but
so I'm just going to grab the corner and make it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to center it using those red lines. We got a lot going on. We got to, there we go. Close out some of these. Okay. That looks good. Let's zoom back out. Beautiful.
I have a little
so I can now maximize that space on the sides and the top and the bottom in order to customize these name tags. Now I mentioned I do have these available for you. So I put together a set of name tags that look exactly like this, already ready to go, and they include tons of images for you to insert on the sides or the top and the bottom. So really quick, I just want to show you those. I'm going to go to this folder. So this product comes with obviously the product info. So I've got all the information for you. I've got a tutorial video that walks you through it, but I've got a whole bunch of those long designs. So for example, cursive alphabet, lined, unlined, red vowels, no red vowels, regular alphabet with all those options. I've got colors. I've got a number line up to 50. Number line color-coded for odd and even. We've got a negative number line color-coded. We've got numbers written out in word form. Color code. I love to color code. Okay. We've got place value in color. We've got shapes, shapes with 3D shapes in color, black and white. All the things. Visual fraction models. Oh, thing of beauty. Then we also have these square ones. So we've got 100 chart and we've got black and white. We've got color, we've got gray, we've got addition charts and all those options. We've got some supports with left and right, greater than, less than, hour hand, minute hand, money, all the things, fraction equivalency, just to give you a little behind the scenes sneak preview. But if you go into the product info, I already have a set of Google Slides made for you. Okay, they're linked right here. We're going to click. It's going to open up a copy, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. Just clicking the blue Make a Copy button. You will notice they look exactly like the name tags I just showed you how to make. So if you found this tutorial overwhelming, although I feel like it was pretty basic, you can buy ones that are already made with all of those instructional supports. Here are just some examples of what these name tags could look like. What I love is that you can easily customize them and differentiate them for each student. So you could actually put different supports on each student's name tag, or you can keep them all the same but change them out maybe quarterly as your skills that you're working on change. So I've got options with 2 squares, so one on either side, with that word art. And then I also have options where there's only 1 square on the left and the right. And if you don't like the word art and you just want that classic text boxes, I've got those available for you as well. And what's great about these, let me just show you. All you have to do is click in that square. You're going to click Replace Image, Upload, and you're going to select one of those images. So let's do a fraction equivalency in color. Click Open. And it's going to pop it right into that square. You don't have to do any resizing. It's good to go. Another option for you, because I love to give people options. Down at the bottom, I've got all of those images already inserted exactly where they need to go. So for example, if I want this place
color
value,
schemes.
and I want this
You do
top
think
one.
about your color,
I want it on both name
colors
tags.
are
I'm
huge
going
part of
to
design.
click the first
There
one,
are some
hold down
traditional ways
Shift,
that
click the
designers and
second
artists
one.
often
I'm going to
pick
copy
color
those,
schemes to
and
ensure
then I
they
can
go well
come up
together.
to my name tag, any of the name
Monochromatic
tags,
is one
because they're
really
all
common
formatted
one.
exactly the same.
Different lights
And I can
darks,
then
all the
paste
same
it.
color.
So I'm going to right click,
This ensures that
choose
it all
paste,
goes
and they will
together
go exactly where they need
sometimes
to
look a bit
on
boring
the
and
top.
monotonous, but
So
if the artist is
I just
careful,
wanted to
they
show
can
you that as an option.
here,
Obviously,
that's what
I've
this
walked you through
mostly
how to
is.
create
It's
the name tag.
more
So
or
you are
less,
good to go, but if you want to make your life a
monochromatic,
little
just
bit
the pictures
easier or you
are.
want access to those
Same thing here,
instructional
they've
supports,
really gone
I've got you
kind of the
covered.
same
That
color.
product will be linked
It
for
can
you
look quite
down
nice,
in the
right?
description
Very
box.
elegant.
I hope you found this video
now
helpful.
just
If you
colors
did,
that sit next
please
to each
give it a
other on
thumbs
the
up,
color
share it
wheel.
out with your teacher
These guys
friends,
can be rich
leave
and
me a
vibrant
comment down
colors,
below.
or
What do you
muted down
usually
with a bit
put
of
on your student
gray,
name tags? Because I'm
or
curious.
lightened up with some
Does everyone
white,
else
or
do it a
darkened
different
with
way? Am
some
I
black.
missing
So for
something?
example,
Let me know down in the
let's grab a
comments. As always,
pen
give it a
here.
thumbs up if you enjoyed it.
If I
Hit the
wanted
subscribe button
red,
and
I could easily
notification
do a
bell so you
color
don't miss
scheme
any
with
future
3
videos.
colors,
As always,
using
thank
like
you
the
for
orange,
watching.
the
I
red,
love you
and
so
kind of
much.
this
Don't forget to put
pinky
your
red.
positive pants on.
I don't
I will
have to
catch
just
you
use 3. I
in the
could
next one.
use 5. And I don't have to use all the brights. I can use this bright and that one, that turquoise nice and light, and this dark orange.
Attention
Okay?
shoppers.
So
Walmart has
any
thousands of fall
colors that
rollbacks
where
on
you
now
see
to
like the
help
3
you get
colors
back into
together
routine.
is
Tackle school
analogous
lunches,
colors.
yard
Okay, so
cleanup,
here
and
they went
everything
with
in
the
between.
blue,
With
and
thousands of
then
rollbacks
on one side
in-store
you've
or
got kind of the
online at
purple color.
walmart.ca.
On the other side you've got kind of
Hello
the
there, I'm
aquas.
Michelle Emerson, and
Here
I
they've
love helping
started with
teachers
kind of
with
the
all
pink,
things
go
technology,
kind of over
organization,
into the
and
darker
productivity.
red,
The end of
into
the
the
school year is
oranges.
the perfect time for student projects.
So,
First of all, they can be
a
squeezed
great
into small
site
chunks
if you
of
want to play
time.
around
They
with some
allow
different
students
color
to
schemes is
demonstrate
called
the new
Adobe
knowledge
Color.
and skills they've learned throughout the year,
See
and they give
Earl
students
right there,
opportunities to be
HTTPS
creative. So in today's video,
/
I'm going to walk you through a tutorial for using Adobe Creative Cloud Express to create a video project. Plus, I'm going to show you some of the other useful tools they have available on the site.
Complementary color schemes. Those are like opposite.
I want to
your
start by
color
thanking
wheel.
Adobe for
The red and
sponsoring this
green,
video.
orange and blue,
I've been using
purple and
Adobe
yellow.
products for
They're
years, and I
vibrant,
really
they're
love
really
what Creative
eye-catching.
Cloud Express
In these
offers
ones up
students
here, I
and their
made them kind
teachers.
of
In case you're
the
not familiar
same
with
value,
it,
like
Adobe
both kind of
Creative
the
Cloud
value, they're not
Express
too
is a
dark, they're not
web-based
light.
creation
Here,
tool and
I
app
kinda
that can be
shifted
used
so
by
that one's
educators
really dark
and their
and
students to
one's
create
really light.
graphics,
See, that looks very
presentations, videos, web
This is
pages, and
basic.
more. There are
Still
tons
very
of free
vibrant,
templates,
but not quite
fonts,
as
music,
flashy
and
as
photos
the
available. Plus, it is free for K-12 schools and districts.
It's a little
Yeah,
tricky.
free.
Here
Plus,
you see
it works
you've
with
got-
some of your
instead of
favorite
going
digital
right across,
tools,
like
such as
this
Google
bit of green
Classroom,
over to
Google
here,
Drive,
red.
Canvas,
You go a little bit to the
Flipgrid,
side,
Book
so a
Creator,
little bit over
ClassLink,
here,
and
red,
more.
orange,
If you are a
and a little
teacher
bit
in
over
the
here
US with a
into
Google
the red,
Workspace for
purple.
Education
And you can come up
account,
with, for example,
you can
this. I
set
could
up
pick
an
any
Adobe
kind of
Creative
colors.
Cloud Express
Over here,
classroom account
we
using your
with the
school
blue
email. Then you
cross
can
with that
create
blue
and
with
manage
kind of orange
classrooms and
color.
invite students
We went
using
to the
a
side.
secure
And
code.
with this
There's
case, I
a
went
super
really
easy
light
to follow
and
getting
really
started
dark
guide, which I
instead.
will link for you
It's
in
not
case you
always
need help.
really obvious.
Let's jump right into the tutorial. As I mentioned, there are a ton of different types of projects you can create using Adobe Creative Cloud Express. Once you get to the homepage, you will see some of those basic suggestions. You also can scroll down and you can see even more templates such as posters and flyers. But before we jump into actually creating a video project, I do want to highlight the quick actions. There's two different ways you can get to it. On the homepage, you can just scroll down to where it says try a quick action. You can scroll through the recommended ones, go to image, video, or PDF. The other way you can get to it is by clicking the plus sign in the top left corner, and then you will see all of the quick actions listed here. These are super helpful, not only for students, but also for the teacher. I'm going to just quickly show you how to trim a video. So if you are creating any type of instructional video for your students, and let's say you mess up at the beginning or end, instead of refilming the entire thing, you can just trim it. I'm going to select trim video.
2 sets.
Another window is going to pop up.
And you would
I can then drag and drop a video or browse. I'm going to go ahead and use a screen recording that I have on my computer.
But you can see this.
So once I've selected that screen recording, it is now going to upload. Then I can just drag the bar at the bottom in order to trim the video, or I can type in an exact time that I want the video to start and end. If I want to, I also can resize it. I also could mute it if I wanted to. Once that video is done uploading and I've trimmed it down to the size, I have the availability to now download the new video. I'm just going to click download. It will take a few seconds to process, and then I have a trimmed video. Next, let's talk about creating a project, because I always loved having my students create something after they learned a new topic or completed research. I always wanted to give my students choices, and Adobe Creative Cloud Express is perfect for that because there are so many different types of projects students can create. Students can start their project using any of these templates here on the home page. They can create it using a custom size, or once again, they can click that plus sign and they can see all the different types of projects they can create. I'm going to walk you through how to create a video because I feel like students all want to be YouTubers now. So after clicking that plus sign, I'm going to select video. It's going to ask for a title. Toward the end of the year, my students were always researching renewable energy sources such as solar power, and I loved for them to create like PSA videos or public service announcements. So I'm going to title this Solar Power PSA, and I'm going to click next. Next, it gives me some basic video templates to choose from, but I can always start from scratch if I want to. Since this is a PSA video, I'm going to use promote an idea, and I'm going to click pick this one, and that's going to generate my template. So now you will notice down at the bottom, it already has a basic outline for my video. So having the solution and the reward and the call to action. I love that this gives students a basis to work off of, but you can always assign students a template that you have created yourself if none of these pre-made templates work for your needs. I want to start by doing an overview of the toolbar in the right, because I feel like this is the main area you will be using when you're creating your video. First of all, you have the layout. So right now we have a full screen, but I also could choose a split screen. So maybe a photo on one side, text on the other. I can have a large photo with a caption or a title and text. I'm going to go ahead and select split screen for this first one. Next, I'm going to select the theme. This will allow me to choose between different color and font options, but students can always create their own brand, which might be a great way to kind of introduce them to Creative Cloud Express, let them play around and create their own brand, then they can actually use that within their video. But I'm going to use this one right here. Next, I have the resize section. This will allow me to choose between widescreen, which I have right now, or square. I'm going to go back to widescreen. And then you also notice I have a music section. So there are tons of options of music that are already in here that students can use, but they always can add their own as well. While we're at it, let's go ahead over the bottom section. I can always add a slide to my video by clicking the plus sign here, or I can delete a current slide by clicking the 3 dots, choosing delete, or I can duplicate a slide. So once I have it formatted the way I want, I can just create a copy of that exact slide. Okay, let's go ahead and start creating this video now that we've gone over the basic tools. I want to have a picture and some text. Since this slide is all about the setting, I'm going to add some text over here on the left. I'm just going to click the plus sign and choose text. And I'm going to say, if you live in Texas, you might love the sun and hot summers, ... And then I'm going to put that I can then increase the text size by clicking that T with the little plus sign next to it, or decrease it with the minus sign. And on the right, I want to add a photo. So again, I'm going to click the plus sign and then choose photo. And what's great is students can search through tons of Adobe stock images, and they've all been filtered out, so you don't have to worry about anything inappropriate coming up. I'm going to go ahead and search Texas, and maybe find a picture of the flag that I can insert.
And pull something up.
I'm going to search Texas
and I would
flag.
Just
That'll work. Got the Capitol building.
Here, I want it to be a little bit bigger than my photo.
So you will notice down at the bottom, I also have this recording button. So students can record audio of them actually reading any of the text they have on that slide, or reading text in addition to what they have on the slide. I'm just going to go ahead and record myself reading the text that's right there. So I'm going to press and hold while I record. If you live in Texas, you might love the sun and hot summers. Okay.
So I changed.
Now that it has recorded the audio, you will notice down in the bottom right corner, the time that slide will appear has actually lengthened to 6 seconds in order to accommodate the audio recording, but you can have up to 30 seconds per slide. Next, I'm going to move on to the problem. So I'm just going to select the next one. And once again, I want this to be a split screen, but this time I'm going to flip flop. I want the picture on the left. So let's do a photo, and let's do electric, because I want this, the problem is that the electric bill is too high.
Light blue.
This will work. And then on the right, I'm going to add in some text. So I'm clicking the plus sign, selecting text. So I'm going to continue my ... but you probably don't love your expensive electric
and
bill.
grab a different font.
Once again, I'm going to increase the text size.
So you kind of changed it.
So if I want to, I can always click this button in the middle and it will swap my items from one side to the other. But I like it this way, so I have some, difference. And then once again, I could record myself reading that if I wanted to. Next, I'm going to move on to what could be. And this time, I'm going to do the caption layout option. And let's do a photo. And I want some money as the background. That will work.
Great starting point.
And now I'm going to click the plus sign and I'm going to type in my text.
So
what if you could actually get paid instead of paying for your electric? Notice it's automatically resizing my text as I continue typing. So instead of 2 seconds, I need this to be a little bit longer.
Thank you so much.
Let's do